watching this particular video, I said, oh my god, I need to talk about this podcast. I need to talk about it because a lot of people need to see it. Because this is the very first review of a podcast. This is the very first podcast I'll be reviewing, because this actually made me say, yes, I really want to do this. After watching this particular video, I said, oh my god, I need to talk about this podcast. I need to talk about it because a lot of people need to see it. It's like a masterclass on sales and marketing. So this podcast is a podcast from the Echoes podcast by Dr. Olushola, who is the host, and his guest was Funke Obrute. And the title of the podcast is How I Broke into Billion-Dollar Event Industry. So from the beginning of the podcast, Dr. Olushola said that he asked ChatGPT to tell him Africa's biggest event planner, and the only name that came out was Funke Obrute. The conversation they had was really so powerful and interesting, and I like to say that Dr. Olushola is a very good interviewer, because the way he patterned the questions, every step of the question, I came with my notes, my note was full. So I'm just going to be touching on some really key things that stood out for me in that podcast. So the podcast really centered on a lot of things: clientele relationship, staying relevant, family balance, structure, team building, diligence, excellence, habits, and staying focused. But I'm really going to focus on some specific questions that Dr. Olushola asked Funke Obrute. Seeing that she's the biggest event planner in Africa and she has catered for weddings like Dangote's daughter Davido's wedding, so Dr. Olushola asked her how she was able to get this kind of clients and build strategic relationship to get this kind of client. So she shared her journey. Something striking, she talked about being hardworking. People love her because she's hardworking. When they talk about her, they say, use Funke, she's hardworking. She talked about over delivering and under promising. Let them get what they see. And she talked about being able to understand clients, what they want, because every client is different, and so you need to understand their objectives, their goals, what they hope to achieve. And there's something she talked about: staying relevant. And by staying relevant, you have to relentlessly market, like relentless marketing. And she talked about Coca-Cola, like from generation to generation, a lot of people know about Coca-Cola. And she said something. She said, how can this new generation know about your brand? How can this new generation know about your business? How can they know about what you do? You have to stay relevant by relentlessly marketing, by relentlessly showing up every time and adjusting to the new generation by thinking long term. Never stop learning, having structures, having a formidable team. She emphasized the importance of a good team, and she said your team is what makes your business grow. She said make stars, not just superstars. You have to go and see that video to really understand what I'm talking about. Another interesting question that I really like that Dr. Olushola asked her was if she have ever found herself in a precarious situation whereby the relationship she had built over the years is about to go down the drain, especially when it's not really her fault or the team's fault. What did she do in that instance? She shared two stories of a man and a lady, but I have to go and watch it because I don't want to give all the details. So you have to go and watch the video so that you can get the story, because I'm not about to share the story right now. So go and see the video. She apologized, even though it wasn't her fault. She apologized, learning to say sorry even when it's not even your fault. She prayed to God to help her. The man didn't forgive her, but anytime she saw the man in an event, she's still going to greet him. Daddy, good evening, sir. Daddy, good afternoon, sir. She didn't let that make her say, oh, I'm not going to greet him, I'm just going to mind my business. She didn't do that. That's so beautiful. Especially in this time that we feel like we can just cut anybody off, we can just we don't really care. The other story is she wrote a note apologizing to the lady and sent a bouquet of flowers with the notes, because the lady loved flowers. That's so sweet, and that's so thoughtful, and that's so nice, and the lady forgave her. So it's just the simple things. Also talked about, if you are thinking long term, have a clear vision of what you want, have a clear vision of your goal. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to reach? What is your goals? What's your plan to get there? Who are the people that you need? She also talked about customer retention, how she retains her customer. I'm not going to share that part, just go and see the video. This is me generally saying that podcast is a masterclass. Head over to YouTube and see that podcast. And no, I wasn't paid to talk about this podcast. I'm just excited about a lot that I learned from that podcast, and I feel like a lot of people really need to see it. Creatives, business owners, entrepreneurs, A lot of everybody needs to see it, especially if you are thinking long term, you have a business, or just go and see the video. Yeah, bye.